Hello everyone, welcome to our video series on data science using Python. So in this video, we'll see data visualization, okay? That how to visualize data, why visualize data, and we'll see some popular plotting libraries in Python. Then we are going to see uh, in our data set how we can visualize the data using a scatter plot, histogram, and bar plot. So let's get started. So let's first start with data visualization. That So basically, data visualization allows us to quickly interpret the data and adjust different variables to see their effect. What does it mean? It means that uh, whenever we have sets of data, so to easily derive some summary from that data, to easily just know about the data that which one has the greater frequency, which one has the less frequency. So these types of things will be more clear with data visualization graphics. Using graphics, using graphs, we these types of things will be very easy. And now technology is increasingly making it easier to do for us to do so. Okay. Now the next thing is that why visualize data? So first of all, for observing the patterns. Okay. Then identifying the string values that could be anomalies. Okay. Then there could be for easy interpretation, for easily deriving a summary from our data. Okay, so that's why we need to visualize the data. Now let's just see some popular plotting libraries in Python. So there are some libraries which are very popular in Python, and that are, so there is Matplotlib. First there is Matplotlib. Okay, it is used to create 2D graphs and plots. Then there is Panda visualization, which is easy to use interface built on Matplotlib. Okay, it uses Matplotlib only. Then there is Seaborn, which provides a high level interface for drawing attractive and informative statistical graphics. Okay, then there is ggplot, which is basically which is a library based on R programming languages, but it is also present in Python and it uses grammar of graphics. Then there is Plotly, which is also used, which can create interactive plots. Okay, now let's just start. So in this video, we will see Matplotlib and then we will see the Seaborn. So let's start with the introduction of Matplotlib. So Matplotlib, it is a 2D plotting library which produces good quality figures. Although it has its origins in emulating the MATLAB graphics commands, it is independent of MATLAB. Means it is evolved from the MATLAB, but it is independent of the MATLAB. Okay. Then it makes heavy use of the NumPy and other extension code to provide good performance even for large arrays. Okay. So for large arrays, to visualize large arrays, it just use NumPy. Now let's just see a scatter plot. So this was the Matplotlib library. Now let's just start with this our plots which we have discussed already that which we are going to see, that was scatter plot, histogram and bar plot. Which these three plots we are going to see, these three graphs which we'll see in this video. So let's start with the scatter plot, a brief introduction on scatter plot. So basically scatter plot is a plot which has set of points that represents the values obtained from two different variables plotted on a horizontal and vertical axis. Okay, means it has set of points which represents the value, and it has basically a horizontal axis and a vertical axis, and the points are based on those two axes. Okay, then now the big question is that when to use scatter plots. So Scatter plots are used to convey the relationship between two numerical variables. Okay, mark this line that scatter plots are used to convey the relationship. Okay, relationship between two numerical values. Suppose you have x-axis and y-axis, and you have to show the relationship between those two variables, those two columns. So then you can use the scatter plots. Okay, then scatter plots are sometimes called correlation plots also because they show how two variables are correlated. Okay, so sometimes the scatter plots are also known as correlation plots because they show the relation between the two variables. Okay, how the two variables are correlated. Now let's code. Let's create a program to see the scatter plot. Okay, so let's first of all we will start with importing pandas. So we are going to import pandas as means alias pd. Then we will import numpy for our mathematical operations. And then for visualizing the data, we are going to use matplotlib.pyplot. And the alias which we are going to use for this matplotlib.pyplot is plt. So now let's just load our data frame. So we will load our data frame. So we are going to load the previous file only so that it will be easy for all of you. Then we were going to assign this index underscore column so that our default index value should be taken. And then for converting all that special characters into uh, into the none values. So we will specify our all special characters which were present in our data set. So these were two special characters which were present in our data set. So we are replacing it to our none values. Then we will just print df.save to check. Yeah. So data set has been loaded successfully. Now for getting exact values, we are going to use the method drop na, and then we are going to drop the none values. So for that, what we can do, first we will do axis equals 0, and then so that it will take row wise, and then we'll mention in place equals true so that whatever the uh, cells which are getting dropped should be implemented in the data set. And then let's print df.save. So now you can see approx 400 there were NaN values, so they have been now dropped. So now there is 1096 and 10 columns. Okay. Now let's just do what we have successfully loaded. Now let's just create our scatter plot. So for creating the scatter plot, there is a method which is scatter. The name of the method is also scatter. So in that we are going to specify the age, okay, and then the price. So in the x-axis, the age will be there. So first we write the x-axis. So x-axis age, then we have to mention the y-axis. So we'll mention the y-axis as price, and let's mention the color also. So we will mention the color blue. Okay. Now we can add title also. So let's just do what? Let's add title. So we are creating a scatter plot of price versus age of the cars. So let's just write that only. Age of the cars. Then we can give X label and Y label also. So let's just do what? Let's just give X label and Y label. So in the X, we have taken age, and in the Y, we have taken the price. So we'll mention price here. So as you can see, I am taking both. I'm using both the double quotes also and single quotes also. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You can use the both. That's fine. For showing you guys, I am just using both. But the good practice is to use the double quotes. But if you have to mention some characters, only some characters or one character, then it is said or it is practiced to use the single quote if you're mentioning single characters, or if you're mentioning file names. Then now you have to use this show method so that your plot will be shown in more interactive way. Okay, now let's just do what we are going to execute our cell, and this is the plot which we are getting. Scatter plot of price versus age of the car. This is our title. Then you can see the x-axis price as we have given the y label. Then in the x-axis you can see age, and in the y-axis you can see price. Okay. Now in the x-axis you can see the ranges of age from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So you can see that after 50, most ages people are, means the car ages of the car is from 50 to 70, 80, and the prices are also less of that cars. Okay, so means as the age increases the price get less of, means the value of the car get less as the age increases of that car. So that is the data which we are, can derive, okay, which we are deriving from this scatter plot. Now let's just see histogram. Okay, so histogram, it is a graphical representation of data using bars of different heights. Okay, so in this, the data means the graphs are in bars. Okay, and each bar has its different heights. Now the histogram groups numbers into ranges, and the height of each bar depicts the frequency of each range. Okay, depicts the frequency of each range or bin. Means, first of all, the histogram, it just groups each bar into ranges. Okay, means the numbers into ranges, and then the height of each bar, it means the height of the bar will say the frequency of the range of that particular range. The height of the bar will show the frequency, that how many numbers, count values. Okay, then when to use histograms? So to represent the frequency distribution of numerical values. So when you have to represent the frequency distribution of numerical values, remember this word, numerical variables, then only you can use the histograms. Okay. So now let's just create the, so for using the histogram, there is a method present in matplotlib.pyplot, that is hist. So plt.hist, and in this we are going to show the kilometer. Okay, the frequency of kilometer. So let's just run the cell. So as you can see, we got a plot. Okay, so but the ranges are not clear. The ranges are not clear and the bins are also not fixed. So we cannot specify the range particularly because it is not fixed. So for that, there are additional some parameters over here which we can use. So let's just do what? Let's use that, those parameters. So make it more interactive for the user. So we can provide color. So let us give a color green. Then we can give age color. So by defining the color of the age, the ranges will become clear. And let's specify the beans as fives. So when we'll specify the beans as five, so we will see only five uh, bars. Okay. Then let's just give what? Let's just give title and all. So let's apply the title. So histogram, histogram of kilometer. Then let's just give the X label. It is X label. So X label, and in the X label there will be kilometer, and in the Y there will be frequency. So in the Y label we are going to mention frequency. Then we'll use the show method to show it in a more interactive way. And now you will see a more interactive histoplot. Okay. We can see the title also, histogram of kilometer. Then in the y-axis there is the frequency, and the x there is kilometer. Now the ranges are more clear. As you can clearly say that the range is from 0 to 50,000, then 50,000 to 1 lakh, then 1 lakh to what 1 lakh 50,000, then 1 lakh 50,000 to 2 lakh, and then 2 lakh 50,000. So as you can see, the most vehicles are the frequency of the kilometers of the most vehicles are 50,000 to 1 lakh, and then after 1 lakh means it is in decreasing order. The bars heights are in l- means decreasing orders, as you can see. So there are less values after 1 lakh 50,000. There are very less cars which has traveled that much. So most vehicles are traveled between 50,000 and 1 lakh. So this value which we are generating from means you can say that the frequency distribution of the kilometer of the cars s- here is showing that the most of the cars have traveled between 50,000 to 1 lakh kilometer, okay? And then after that, there are only few cars with more distance traveled, okay? So this is the summary which we can interact from using the histogram. Now, let's just see the bar plot now. So bar plot. What is a bar plot? So a bar plot is a plot that presents the categorical data with rectangular bars with lengths proportional to the counts that they represent. Okay. So for representing the categorical data, okay. So categorical data in rectangular bars with their lengths are shown are represent in the bar plot. Okay. When to use the bar plot? To represent the frequency distribution of categorical variables. Means when you have to show the frequency distribution of categorical variables, then you can use the bar plot. And then a bar diagram makes it easy to compare sets of data between different groups. Okay, one more thing is added here, that when you can use the bar plot, when you have to check the means we have to compare between different sets of groups. Means if there are two or three categorical data or four or five categorical data in your particular variable, or you can say column. So for showing that which value is more, which value is less, which has been used more and which has been used less, you can use the bar plot. That is the main thing here. Okay. So now let's start with the code. Let's see the code. So for that, we have to specify some variables. First of all, we'll mention the counts. Okay. These counts are of the vehicles. Okay. That, and we are going to show the bar plot of fuel types. That what means in all of the cars, in all of the vehicles present in our data set, which vehicle is of which type and how many vehicles are of which fuel type. So for that, so we know the exact value because we have already find out. So we will mention here petrol, then diesel, and then there is CNG. And we know the count of it, okay? Now let's just do what? Let's create an index. Why we are creating an index? Because it takes a array, okay? Then length. Now, for creating this was the attributes, means the parameters which we have prepared already, which we have to put inside the bar plot, okay? Now, for creating a bar plot, we have to use the method plt.bar. In this, we will specify our index, then we will specify our counts, and then we can specify different colors for our different bars. So let us say I want to give, for petrol I want to give red, then for diesel I'll give blue, and then for CNG I'll give light green. Okay. Now let's just give the title. So in the title it will be bar plot of fuel type. So bar plot of then let me give the X label. So X label will be fuel types. Then plt dot Y label. Y label will be the frequency. then plt dot show. Let's run our cell. Okay, so it got an error. Okay, light green, the color is not available. So what we can do, we can just specify to green and let's just see. Okay, so green is available. So now we have got our bar plot of fuel type. As you can see, the petrol value is approx 900. Okay, it's just touching 1000. Then there is diesel with blue color, which is less than 200 and I think above 100. Okay, and then there is the least amount of vehicles are of CNG. Okay, so as you can see, it is just less than I think 30 also. So that is the data visualization using the bar plot, which is showing the types of fuel. Okay, now but if someone who just saw this plot which has not which has not seen the code, so how he will know that red color is for what? So for that we can add xticks. Okay, so xticks is also a method in which you can specify the name. So we are going to specify the index and then the fuel type here, and there is one more parameter that is rotation equals 90, which will write like this. Okay, which will write in 90-degree angle. Okay, you can do it 180 also. So it will be in a straight line, as you know that 120, but in opposite. So if you want to do it in this, you can give 0. So now 0 is like this. Okay, so this is how you can create a bar plot for your data set. Okay, for showing to represent the frequency distribution of categorical variables. So I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next video.